Everybody, or good afternoon, or whatever it is, whenever you're watching us. We appreciate you. Welcome to What's on Joe Mind. We are a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
A+.
Right? What else can you ask for?
I mean, we brought guests over. You maybe clean the house and all, so.
Right. Joining me here in the top row, he is the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. It's the Honcho, Mark Weber.
Yeah, feeling more former than ever, but it's good to be here.
I was listening to somebody else's podcast this afternoon, and we'll talk about it later. Ooh. It'll make you feel even more former.
Oh, cool.
and you'll feel good about that.
Oh, anyhow. All right.
In the bottom row, as we change from my ominous sidetrack, he is the editor of the Real American Hero comics at Skybound Entertainment, Skybound Publishing. Alex Antone on the program for the very first time.
Wow. So great to be here.
I have to apologize for Racktime Rob's absence. Our comic guy is not on the comic show, but he's
you got a comic guy right here. We're good.
Right. We figure we're subbing in pretty good, but he had a school function tonight.
I have done the reading, so good to go.
That is the required reading. Good job. I have a syllabus that I can pass along for next time.
Well, I hope we get a word. I hope we get a word find.
Alex will be distributing quizzes at the end of the program.
That's it.
But I don't want to beat around the bush too much. I know your time is limited, Alex. Again, thank you for joining us. So I guess I'll kick things off. We'll get right into it here on Special Edition 93. What's your background in this, man? When did you decide you were in on the G.I. Joe crazy train?
Oh man, okay. I've been at Skybound now for over 6 years. I was at DC before that, editing comics. So I've been editing comics for about 15 years, which is crazy to say. My background on G.I. Joe before I started editing Real American Hero was zilch. Absolutely nothing. I was familiar with G.I. Joe, but I think I was like 2 or 3 years too young to really have embraced it in its heyday, in the 80s. I was born in 85, so late 85. And so Ninja Turtles was like my thing. That was my first thing. But my boss, Sean Nakowitz, is about 5 years older than me. He's the publisher at Skybound. I think Robert Kirkman's about the same age as him. Ben Abernathy is a couple years older than that. I'm just outing all of their ages right now. It's great. I'm sure they'll love it. But they were like prime generation for loving G.I. Joe, growing up with the TV show, reading the comics, all of that. I want to say even Sean might have, his first comic may have been a G.I. Joe comic, which is awesome. But yeah, I was less familiar. But then I had actually worked with Larry Hama at DC because I edited a book called Deathstroke, which is the Teen Titans main villain. And Christopher Priest was the writer of that book. And he and Larry Hama go way back when Christopher Priest was named Jim Owsley. So I got to know Larry a little bit there. And then when we got the license for G.I. Joe, there was already a relationship. So there was a small amount of trust that I was a regular person from that experience. And I was asked if I wanted to edit it. And I said, yeah, absolutely. Because while I wasn't a super G.I. Joe fan, I acknowledged the historic importance of G.I. Joe as a comic book, as a franchise, but as a comic book specifically. And, obviously I knew about famous issues, the silent issue. I knew about, things that had popped up over the years in terms of like Snake Eyes dying and being resurrected, and new Snake Eyes being born. And I knew some of the gist of it, but it was definitely I had to educate myself by reading a whole bunch of G.I. Joe comics, which is always fun, education. And then working directly with Larry and working with Diana Davis, our creative consultant, who like keeps me honest in terms of making sure that I don't suggest anything that is a very bad idea for G.I. Joe. It's been a great 3 years now at this point, I think, that I've been working on this, and I think it's been really cool because I don't know that we went in with particularly high expectations. I think we loved the book, but I think we felt like it had found a level at IDW that was respectable but not particularly high. And then when we took it over and I think polished it up a little bit, and then launched obviously Energy Universe around the same time, there was just a whole renewed interest in G.I. Joe as a comic, but also like Real American Hero as a comic, which I think we didn't necessarily anticipate. Now sales are great, and we've got great artists on it, and Andy Kubert on covers has been amazing, and now it's Lee Weeks, who's also amazing, and it's been fun because I got to hire my favorite artists, so that's been nice. And they all happen to be ex-G.I. Joe artists, so that's another thing that I've really learned over the last 3 years. Is like the storied history of excellent artists on G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and that was something that I really wanted to make sure we continued with the Skybound run. And I think from Chris Mooneyham to Paul Pelletier, where I think we've continued the storied history of great art.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those where if your book is good enough, it comes back every so often. Like Real American Hero is always going to have its fans, but it was such a great book, such a great selling book in its heyday that I don't think we're ever going to be. It's never going to go away, right? It'll always make its run back and come back around and be popular again as another generation says, "Hey, this is a heck of a lot better than I expected it to be."
Yeah.
I need more of this. So kudos to you on landing the evergreen gig.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's, I mean, I think it bears repeating or bears acknowledging, like the fact that Larry has been writing the same comic for 45 years. That's insane. I know there's some breaks in the middle there, but like, that's crazy. That will never be done again. I don't think. Like there is a tradition and a history here that like is really singular, and I think what we've done for the Energy Universe and Josh Williamson and Robert, everything that's going on there is awesome. But I do want to focus really specifically on Real American Hero, not just because I'm the editor, but because like I just think it's an amazing accomplishment that it's worth acknowledging again and again, because they don't make them like Larry anymore, and I really acknowledge and appreciate the opportunity that I've had to work with a legend like him. I've worked with a few legends of comics in my day, and this is Larry's right at the top of the list because he's amazing and a really good dude, and I learned a ton from him, and he's got great stories. That's for sure.
The times that I have been fortunate enough to hang out with Larry Hama, we very rarely talk about G.I. Joe. It's mostly me listening to him talk about stories about hanging out with the DC and Marvel bullpens in the 70s.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Stories about Neil Adams and and the like. Yeah.
Right. I made Mark flush all of his questions about Energon Universe. So, Mark,
good.
Do you want to throw it?
I got to think as an editor, it's got to be a pretty good offer when they say, even if you don't know the book itself or know it well, if they say, hey, do you want to edit, World's End? You don't know anything about World's End, but it's almost on issue 300 when the offer comes in. I got to imagine that sweetens the deal a little bit, right? When it's such a well-established book.
I love it. I think you could look at it one of two ways, and the bad way to look at it is, man, I got a lot of reading to do. But the good way of looking at it is, like you said, there's job security in it, but also I I've done this before. Like I edited it, like I said, at DC, I edited a lot of long running titles that have had, very long histories. And I think, the secret is you don't actually have to read everything. You just have to read the important stuff, because that's the stuff that fans remember.
Right.
And then, if a character pops up that hasn't been in the book in a while, you have to educate yourself on, like, okay, where was the last time they were in this? Are we contradicting ourselves with anything? And that's kind of fun. It's like a puzzle every single time. And a little bit of research never hurt anybody. Plus, like I said, Diana Davis keeps me honest. And I think what I have been told, and I think it's true, is I think having somebody come in who maybe was a little bit less in it in terms of G.I. Joe was a good thing for this book, because it allowed me to just kind of come in with an outsider's perspective and say, okay, what would make me want to read this book? Let's make the book that I want to read as a fan, and as long as it stays true to what G.I. Joe fans want, I think maybe we get a chance to lure some new people into reading this title that would be Joe curious but haven't necessarily read the book. So,
it would have been super helpful for your research is if there were a bunch of big compendiums of all the early issues available somewhere, right? Because who wants to hunt down 300 issues one at a time, right?
Totally. We did it in the wrong order. We should have started with that. Would have made my life a lot easier.
Diana told us about being up at 6 a.m. when the Kickstarter for the compendium issues went live, and sold out in 2.5, not sold out, but hit the goal in 2.5 minutes.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's
been your same experience.
Yeah. No, I 3 years ago, was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, we launched the first G.I. Joe Kickstarter, and at that point, so that was all of the Marvel era, which we're calling the original era in our marketing, and that was a comprehensive collection at that point that had ever been put together of the Marvel stuff in these like really beautiful box sets, hardcovers, all the bells and whistles that you want, and yeah, that went so well. So it exceeded we had high expectations, but it like doubled and tripled what we hoped that it would do. That led to Transformers then last year, which also did really well. Like G.I. Joe, the first G.I. Joe campaign when it ended was the most funded comics Kickstarter ever, period. And then we beat it last year with the Transformers one. So these just keep getting bigger and bigger and crazier as we've really established this kind of new Kickstarter model, specifically for reprint material like G.I. Joe, and it works really well. And yes, it would have been really, really convenient if this stuff had existed before I started working on the book. Because, but I do refer to it. I have it sitting up here. I refer to it all the time. It now that it allows me to do my job better. But no, I go back and look at the Order of Battle stuff all the time when I'm trying to confirm things, and we're doing a lot of reprints now of like single issues called the Hama Files, which is single issues basically with a little bit of new content from Larry, just sort of creative recollections of his days writing some of the original stuff. So I've had to go back and look at that stuff as we're reprinting, and that's been fun. So yes, it's an extremely useful editor's tool, but also good for fans, good for anybody that just wants an easy way to read all of G.I. Joe in a beautiful container.
When you break your own Kickstarter record, do they send you a new belt? Or you just keep the old one?
I got an email from the head of Kickstarter, so that's as good of a thing as I think Kickstarter will give you, and all the money. They do give you all the money.
Well, yeah, the money, of course, but a frameable email, that's okay too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had the biggest day one ever. We had the biggest campaign ever. It was a big deal. And yeah, we've had a great relationship with Kickstarter. But yeah, they should give us belts or something, or a trophy. Yeah. I don't know.
Or tiara. perhaps.
Whatever, a sash.
Oh yeah.
The rumor is YouTube gives you those little plaques. We don't have one of those.
No,
they don't have one of those for 1,600. But whatever.
Whatever. What are they doing?
Well, yeah, right. It's their fault, not ours. It's theirs. They don't know quality. So, Alex, we got some of the basics on the campaign, just to recap for folks who maybe have been under a rock for the last better part of a month. And this is just the basics on the pledge tiers. The most common question we got after the episode we ran with Diana was, look, I did the first one 2 years ago. I just want issues 5 through 8. If you want 5 through 8, whether if you want the Joe version or the Cobra version, $300. If you want them both, it's $600. The math is simple. If you want all 8 of them in one shot, if you missed it the first time, it's going to be $600 per version. What's the how do I want to phrase this?
I don't know.
Right.
However you want, my friend.
Right. Rhetorical question, gentlemen.
How do you do a podcast when you're so less attractive than your co-host?
I mean, that's always the question for me.
Yeah.
But Alex, if you've been in the dark, what would your plan be? What would you recommend?
Well, I think the value of this campaign, like I know it's a lot of money. $300 is a lot of money. $600 is double the amount of money.
Yeah.
Which I did the math in my head just there. But the value is there. I feel really strongly that, if you look at some other Kickstarters or just some other, hardcovers in general, you're not getting even remotely the amount of content that we're giving you for $75 a book, which is, for these thick hardcover books, a great price. Just a really fantastic price. And if you're someone like me that's new to G.I. Joe and wants to go back and read all the old stuff, here it is. Here it all is. Everything written by Larry Hama, basically all in one place. This is all the essential reading that you'll ever need for G.I. Joe. There's a lot of other stuff out there, but it's not written by Larry Hama. This is the Larry Hama stuff. So if you're, one of the, I guess, lapsed fans that have maybe come back to G.I. Joe in recent years with Skybound, and have been reading the book that I edit, but haven't really read a lot of the IDW stuff, we picked up right where they left off, like literally right where they left off. There was a cliffhanger at the very end of issue 300 that we picked up on it in issue 301. So a lot of good stuff in those 150 some issues that IDW published. Very key characters, Don Moreno, Helix being just to name a few, but there's a ton that are really, really popular and important to the story. Characters that we've picked up again in the Skybound stuff. So, not to mention, if you are like me and are really new to G.I. Joe, all the original Marvel stuff is there too. And it's all in the same format. They all look great. You don't have to buy both Cobra and Joe versions. You can, pick one or the other and get it all and have it on your shelf. And it can be a great, conversation piece for people to come over and want to flip through your crazy hardcovers. Or it can be great reference for writing or editing your own G.I. Joe stories. I would want these books as a fan because of the significance of this series, not only for the fact that G.I. Joe is one of the most popular brands out there, but also the history of comics. Like Larry is really important, really, really important to the history of comics, and this is his masterpiece. And we collected it as a masterpiece deserves to be collected. There are other ways to get this stuff. Obviously, we do soft covers as well. So if the price is just too high, that's totally fine. Those are going to be available in retail eventually, and it's all good. But we've been starting to talk about this. We have no plans to reprint this stuff after this campaign ends. So if you are interested in getting this format, as I lean behind me, and in I think the best presentation of this material has ever seen, this is it. this is your last chance for the foreseeable future to get this stuff, and it's really important. I think Larry's work deserves to be preserved, deserves to be out there and read. And like I mentioned earlier, I think I mentioned this earlier. No, I can't remember what we talked about before we started and what we started talking about afterwards. But the history of art on this title is just spectacular. If you can go back and see, Andy Kubert, early stuff, Mark Bright, Michael Golden. Like there's spectacular artists in the early stuff, and then even in the IDW stuff, there's artists like Neto Diaz, who's now really coming up in Marvel. I think he's a Marvel exclusive artist now. Did some great early work in the IDW stuff. So, this is like a primer in the history of comics. If you really go through this, and you can see the industry as it's progressed from 1982 to 2026. So it's pretty cool.
And of course, it goes without saying the success that has gone on for so long with the campaign. As it stands right now, there's about a week. By the time people see this, it'll be about 5 days left in there. So you said you mentioned the value. You've added to that value with all of these stretch goals that have been unlocked over the course of the past month. There's spot gloss on all the books, satin ribbons for page keeping in all the books, die cut stickers in all 3 factions. There's an Andy Kubert poster that's going to be part of Compendium 5, another one of the Baroness in number 6. There's the G.I. Joe Cobra Cat Challenge coin. You can see both sides of it there in the graphic. There's been foil details added to the spines on the covers. There's going to be a Cobra team poster in Compendium 7, a Joe team poster in Compendium 8, patches for all of the different factions that are being featured, gilded pages. So there's kind of a finish on there, so that we talk more about it in Diana's episode. Go watch that if you want to know more about gilded pages. Mm-hmm. There's an extra printing of 155.5. We've added 2 more character entries into Order of Battle that'll be done by Robert Atkins. There'll be 2 more done by Paul Pelletier, 2 more done by Shannon Gallant, 2 more vehicles from Chris Mooneyham, enamel pins for all the factions, black and white Order of Battle prints, both issues, the Joe and the Cobra. The next one comes at 2.2 million, which was just under it. So I'm just going to go ahead and assume that one's going to get done. Of the reprinted IDW era comic of our choice, which will be voted on later. This is all just extra. This is part of that $300. This is part of that $600 that you're throwing in there. All this bonus stuff.
When you list it all like this, it just makes me think it's just way too much. What are we doing?
You're all out insane, and I question your reporting.
I don't know how I still have a job. Right. No, it's crazy. I mean, the books are enough. They really are. I mean, I don't think anyone's backing this stuff for all the extras. I think they're backing it for the books, but like, as if you needed it to be sweetened at all. we have sweetened it to a level that I think will give you diabetes, which is that's fine.
There's a lot of fruit at the bottom of this yogurt.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. No, I mean, I like the challenge coin, especially. We did one for Transformers, but I like, you can flip it and decide day to day if you're going to choose good or you're going to choose evil. So, I think like Two-Face, I guess, that's what we're going for.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what people are going to vote for in terms of the comic reprint. We had a bunch of options that we were thinking about, so we were just going to choose it for people. And I was like, well, we have people vote on what characters are included in Order of Battle. Why don't we have people vote on what issue to get to reprint? Because we could reprint any of them. Let's just see what people want. Let's let the people decide. So that's what we're doing for a lot of this stuff. But yeah, those. I also want to point out the Order of Battle, the new Order of Battle issues, which we're doing. If you get any box set, you get the Order of Battle, and it's awesome. I'm really happy we're doing it. Again, great reference for me. This is really all just for me, I think, as it turns out. I'm just creating my own reference files. But I wanted to do a new Order battle for some time, and when it was determined that this was the place to do it, I was really excited to get to work. And also, it's reaching out to G.I. Joe alums. Last time we did a lot of Marvel alums for the trading cards that we did. This time, a lot of the IDW people, S.L. Gallant, Robert Atkins, Neto Diaz, I mentioned earlier. And then, of course, the new guys in Paul. And we've got, I don't think we've announced it yet, but we'll do some more. Hopefully, we'll get to a level where we're going to put even more pages in, and we'll have Andrew Kroenke do some stuff. He's been working on the current version. More Chris Mooneyham. As soon as he turned in his tank and Mobat, I was just like, you're just going to do all the vehicles. I hope that's cool. Because these are excellent, and I just don't want anyone else to do them. So
he's landing the Evergreen gig.
Yes, absolutely.
Given that image lineage, there's a very thin Todd McFarlane tie to G.I. Joe. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, we did reprint his his canceled issue from the Marvel era, which is a real fun deep dive in G.I. Joe history. I don't know that I've ever got the full story of why that issue was canned. Somebody didn't like it somewhere. But yeah, now it's like a fun bit of trivia that is included in this box set. So even if you didn't get the reprint that we did last year or 2 years ago, you can get it in this set. There's everybody's in this. It's crazy. I mean, when we did the Transformers stuff, I was like, hey, there's like 3 or 4 Jim Lee covers in here. This is nuts.
Pretty sure Jack Kirby has a cover in there somewhere.
Yeah.
big old fingers.
Yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. But yeah, we got 7 days left as of this recording. So things are only going to get crazier. We saw the crazy beginning to this campaign where we earned like almost 1.5 million in one day, which is nuts. I would expect we're going to have a huge surge at the end, as typically happens with these Kickstarters. So we'll see how I break this thing.
Will be nuts. Can you give us any tips, any hints on what the as of yet unlocked stretch goals might be? There's some spots that haven't been filled on the campaign Kickstarter page at this point.
We've got some surprises. I don't want to ruin it, but if you go back through the Transformers Kickstarter, go back through the previous G.I. Joe Kickstarter, you could probably make some pretty good educated guesses on what we're going to do. No, we've got a few more tricks up our sleeve. Hopefully some surprises. But yeah, you gotta follow the Kickstarter to find out what they are.
I suppose so. It's a good enough reason to at least go and follow the campaign. If you can't make a pledge, at least go follow it.
Yes.
There's even if you don't want everything, if you just want to kind of shop a la carte, that's even an option for you because of all the add-on things in that particular menu. I mean, I think I've got it here. Yeah. So
if you didn't back the first campaign and just want the set from the first campaign, you can do that. That's totally fine. If you pledge like $1, you get access to the backer kit, pledge management system, which is a great way to get some stuff that isn't necessarily the box sets. But you have to back the campaign in some capacity in order to get into that pledge management.
Right. If you're not going to come into the money in the next 7 days or 5 days, pledge $1 now, and that kit will keep
delay
for you.
Delay for the next paycheck or your tax return or whatever. Speaking of tax return, oh my God, it's April 14th. Yep. Okay, we're fine.
You got to cut this short.
We got work to do. I guess the next question that has been asked of me on a number of occasions, like I'm somebody who knows, right? That's always the funny part when we get these questions. I love our fans, and I love that they ask us questions, and I love that they see us as experts. But I don't know. I don't know nothing. So I will ask you, as somebody who knows, Alex Antone.
We'll see.
Is the door open with the success of this campaign? Is the door open to maybe get into some of the Devil's Due Publishing stuff for another compendium?
The door's open. Do we walk through the door? I don't know. I can't say. But the door is definitely open. It comes down to files more than anything. Do we have files? Do we not have files? But I can say definitively, as I mentioned earlier, like there are no plans to reprint this stuff ever again. So this is really going to be your last chance. Devil's Due, any other G.I. Joe material, any other Transformers material. Door's open. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we are closing the door on this chapter of these box sets for Real American Heroes. So I do want to make sure that is known and everybody understands the stakes of whether or not they back this campaign now.
Right, and this campaign will be going until April 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that is next Wednesday. Well, this will be out before it'll still be a next Wednesday by the time this.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And if you filed your taxes, on time, you might get your rebate by then or whatever, your refund. So yeah.
I tell you, my friend, mine's already spent. It's already gone. So.
But the important thing is pledge or forever hold your peace, right?
Exactly.
Because the internet is not for complaining.
Yeah. No one ever complains on the internet. You're right. You're right.
It's for praise. Yeah.
But thankfully, I sent $300 of it aside, so we're in good shape. We're
fantastic. You're a good friend.
We're in there. Alex, I'm seeing Nathan pop up in the green room. He's probably come to take you home. Is there anything that you haven't told us that we need to know
about this Kickstarter? No, I think you've got it all. It's going to get crazy in these last 7 days. I'm gonna probably need a long nap when it's all done. And I just wanted to say, I guess, since I'm talking, to the G.I. Joe fans and you guys specifically, thank you. Thank you for all of the support, not just for the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is great, but also just for the comics. We love making them. Everybody at Skybound really is passionate about making comics and passionate about making G.I. Joe comics specifically. And we have felt nothing but, huge support for the swings that we've been taking at Skybound. We take big swings. We take risks. We try to do things that are a little different. And the fans have been there to support us the whole way. I can really safely say we're just getting started on all this stuff. So we really appreciate the support. Whether you back this campaign or not, I understand it's a big price tag. Still love you. It's all good. Thank you so much for having me on. And, I'll be answering questions in the comments on the Kickstarter page, or somebody will. That might be me. And happy to answer any more questions you got. And maybe I can come back another time to just talk about the comic itself, especially the Skybound stuff.
We'll let you relax and talk about which characters they never put in the book that you want to see more of.
Right.
Exactly.
Like Beachhead, for example.
Yeah. Or Tombstone.
Beachhead is in issue 329.
All right. Good. Or
and
Tombstone.
He's
fighting Tombstone and Interrogator. I'm pretty sure.
He is not. but that's a scoop right there. 329 Beachhead fans, get ready.
All right.
Get ready.
I'm prepared. We want to thank you too, man, along those same lines. I don't think anybody ever sets out to make a bad comic book. I think if you have that particular, we'll call it mental illness to get into comic book publishing, you're trying to make a good book. But like the care that you guys take at Skybound that we have seen since you've taken over the franchise has really been evident. And so we really appreciate the work that you guys have done on your end towards publishing the monthly books and towards the special stuff like this too. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Anything else? Going once, going twice before I hit the...
Yo, Joe, let's do this.
There you go.
Excellent. There we go. As our friend Vagon likes to say, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. Thanks for tuning in for special edition 93 here on What's on Joe Mind. We'll see you on Tuesday night for another edition of the Team Stream. Alex, Antone, please come back and see us again real soon.
Will do.
Mark, hit the button.
Beer.